You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Dallas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Dallas After Show.
What's up, kids? This is it. This is the season finale, season 1, Dallas, episode 10, Revelations. Bing is for doing, and we're doing it big tonight. I'm your host, AJ Gibson, joined again by my lovely co-host. To my right, we've got Dorinda Barker. Yes.
Yes.
Kellie Olisky, she's back.
Hello.
How you doing, Kelly? I like the plaid tonight. I like the cowboy hat too, Dorinda.
Thank you.
And the one and only Ryan Allen Carillo. We have to show off the shirt, Ryan.
Okay, so
can we get a shot of this?
Fabulous.
Says I love JR.
No, it does not say I love JR.
I shot JR.
Wow. Just one of the
I'm on a juice fast. I haven't eaten in 5 days.
one of the greatest episodes of all time, the Who Shot JR episode, and that's what you did with it.
Sorry.
We've also got a
It's been a big lead up to this. I messed it up. Dang it.
Start over. Everyone, start over. No. Well, you've also got a huge fan of the show in the studio tonight.
Celebrity.
And a good friend of ours. Yes, she's from Big Brother season 12 and 13. She actually won season 13 of Big Brother, then went on to come in 3rd place, I believe, on The Amazing Race.
Yep, 3rd place.
Season 20. Rachel Reilly, how are you?
Yay, I'm great.
Part of the duo. What is your actual duo name? Brenchel?
Brenchel, yes.
She has a really hot fiance.
Yeah, he is really
He was
hot.
on
Thanks,
He was your
he's so
partner on
hot.
Amazing Race and on Big Brother.
We met
Or
on
you
Big
met
Brother, yeah.
And
And then we went on to 13 together and partnered on Amazing Race.
Well, there you go.
Wow, and you're a big fan of Dallas.
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh
What do you
my
think of the
God.
season so far?
It's incredible.
Yeah,
oh
right?
my God. I can't stop watching because the drama is crazy. I'm like going insane, especially with tonight's episode.
Well, if anybody knows about drama, it's Rachel.
That's
so.
true. I am good with drama.
We're so lucky to have you in the studio tonight, and we'll be chiming in throughout the evening. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to start off with our first topic of the night. Let's talk about a couple of the women of this episode. Some of the women, not the girls, the women. And
right.
By women, I mean Anne and Sue Ellen. They each had, I feel like all the characters had a great moment this episode. I feel like it was a phenomenal finale. I feel like Dallas is far and away my favorite show on the air right now. Only because Smash is on hiatus until January. But no,
and Lost is off the air.
Lost is off the air. But Dallas is so good, and every episode keeps getting better. I really, really loved Anne's storyline. She really it tied up some loose ends. We still have some questions about, what her character, her past, and things. But we got a few answers tonight.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Well, I just want to say that, just meeting her last week, because you weren't here, I mean, she was just like a
Can I
class
just-
act. Go ahead.
Can I just say how heartbroken I am by this?
I know.
I've missed only 2 episodes this entire season, and I missed Anne last week, obviously, and then I missed Lucy. It breaks my heart. I was on family vacation last week. My first family vacation since I was like 17, so it was kind of a big deal. We went to surprise my father in South Carolina for a week, and I didn't know that Anne was going to be here. She was a last-minute booking, I believe.
Right.
And I was heartbroken.
She is just like
She's
class act.
amazing.
I love her. She's tweeted us, "Hi, if you're watching."
I hope we can get you back next season.
But she would not give us any dirt.
I know. Because she was sitting on this knowing that this was such a great episode. And I think we've talked about this before. The scenes with her and Sue Ellen together are just amazing. Like the veteran actresses and just like giving it to you.
I love that you brought that up because like I said earlier in the season, I caught some flack for not really knowing a whole lot about Dallas. So I went back and watched at least the first couple of seasons. And it's a very different dynamic because I relate it to Sue Ellen and Pamela Victoria Principal's character back in the day, and they didn't really get along that well. There was never really that camaraderie, at least in the first couple of seasons.
Right.
But to see the way that Sue Ellen and Anne really kind of find strength in each other, and it keeps Sue Ellen kind of relevant on the show. It keeps her tied to the family because she's really not part of the Ewing family anymore. Indirectly, she is. I mean, her son's the Ewing. But I like how those two women kind of bonded.
Yeah.
I do, but we found something out last week when Brenda was talking about their relationship. I didn't realize that Sue Ellen is the one that introduced Anne to Bobby. So they,
they have that in common. And another thing that she said was that although that they have a friendly relationship, you know, Anne's not dumb. Like, it's one of those, you know, keep your friends close but your enemies closer kind of thing. And it's nice until, you know, until they have to start protecting their family.
Well, exactly.
So,
I like how she encourages Sue Ellen to, you know, run for governor and to stay in the race and those things throughout this episode. But at the same time, you can tell she's always in the back of her mind. She's like, I'm also going to keep an eye on everyone. You know, when push comes to shove, you know, Christopher and Bobby are a family. Period.
Right.
And that's kind of how the Ewings always.
And I thought this was a great example of that family sticking together. I mean, even, you know, we're going to touch on later, but, you know, Bobby's in the hospital. Like, Sue Ellen was, like, one of the first people there, kissed him. Like, she's very much, even though she's not a part of the family, she's definitely, you know, a part of the family.
Yes. Thoughts, Rachel? What do you think about Anne?
She works it.
She does, right?
I loved her, and especially in this episode. I mean, that move with the bra and with the little unbuttoning, that was like, damn, girl. I loved it.
Easily one of my favorite scenes of the entire season.
Yeah.
And there were so many standout scenes this episode.
Oh my God.
That was just, because I saw the preview I think we all saw the preview from last week, and I was like, oh, please don't go there and sleep with him. Please don't do that, because I love her character. She's a strong woman, and it's nice to see really strong women on television, and that don't rely on men, especially in a family like the Ewings, where that would be so easy to write her character that way. And she didn't let us down.
No, she didn't.
Do you know what makes a great scene is when you watch the scene and you think something's going to happen, and you're like, we're all in the studio screaming, no, put your bra back on, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, there's the reveal of the microphone, and like we all were just like, you know, none of us saw that coming, because she just, again, she's such a great actress. She was just bawling, and she was very sincere. I mean, what a great scene.
Because at the beginning of that scene, I was a little confused. I was like, Anne. All of a sudden, going into that scene, her hair's done. She's wearing some skinny jeans and cute. Can you notice the heels?
Right.
Yeah.
Her hair was curled.
She was so cute.
She looks fierce. And I'm like, girl, you don't want to go into that situation looking like that, because you're asking for trouble right now, because you look hot.
But don't you think you would also dress up, besides me, for any of your exes? You would probably go there, you're going, I'm going to look sick.
Yes, besides you.
Besides me.
one of my favorite things about that too is the way that she played him, because here's this big, powerful man that, you know, pretty much has everybody in Texas inside of his pocket, and she goes in like this little fragile woman, teary and looking hot, but still very vulnerable when she walks in and is like, you know, you got me, you sent me the necklace, you brought up the past, you made me fall apart, you threatened, you know, to sue my husband, you know, you got to stop. But the way that she's doing it with this, you know, vulnerability, that's just where he sits and he's thinking, you know, I've got you, and she turns around, and when she reveals that microphone and the look on her face just was that little smirk on her face, and she got serious real quick and was like,
incredible. And
then punched him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I loved it.
Gave him a bloody lip. I love also that it really shows you that it's interesting, because we don't know their entire backstory yet. We don't know what was in that envelope, other than the picture of the child that burned in the fireplace. But it also makes you kind of respect her, and make you think that no matter what did happen in the past, and what he may have known of her in the past, she's a different woman now, and she's going to stand up for her family, and that was really interesting to me.
Right. Yeah. She's obviously been burned a bunch of times by him, so she went in there just like, I am not playing this time.
And also, Christopher's not her son. So, and she still stands by that family as if they're hers.
Right.
You know, whereas whatever ties she had with what's the guy's
Harris?
Ryland.
Yeah. Whatever she had with him in the past, she's obviously let that go, and she's willing to throw him under the bus, you know, to protect her new family, which is great.
Well, that makes me. I'm sorry. No, it makes me wonder too, like what happened there, because he obviously did her dirty, and he used that and that necklace shows that, because that was a very cruel and, you know, uncaring thing to do. So however it ended was obviously bad. So I'm really curious to find out what exactly happened there.
That's what I was gonna say.
You guys are so cute together.
We are cute.
Great minds think alike.
We're so cute.
And speaking of strong women this episode, let's touch on Sue Ellen. We talked about her a little bit, but let's just. I just need to say this. I love that all these years later, Sue Ellen is back. And she's not the same character she used to be. She's not this raging alcoholic, out of control, like needy woman who always needed JR. because that's kind of what she was back in the day. She stands on her own, and she's a better actress now than she used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
She really is. Like it's so
Well,
interesting.
Models Inc. crafted her skill.
Clearly, he's a huge fan of Models Inc.
I love Models Inc.
episode. But all these major characters, the original 3, they're all better actors than they used to be, which I love. This show, I mean, I can't talk enough about how great the show is. I think the writing is phenomenal. I think the acting is phenomenal. I think the music is just top notch.
Awesome.
I'm so happy with it.
Well,
And Sue Ellen,
one thing we were talking about on the way here was that her character in particular, like she just looks amazing. Like she holds her own. She walks to the room. She has this presence. You know, I'm not saying that some of the actors or actresses from the past may not, but she definitely is like one that walks into a room and owns the room. She looks fierce, and she's. I mean, how old is she?
I know.
She's 71. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
No.
What?
She might be.
Well, she could
No way.
she might be like almost. You know,
Almost.
maybe
Does anyone,
like
does anyone have an iPhone?
I have an
Perhaps you could type
iPhone.
in
Yeah.
bing.com and look that fact up for us. Confirm or deny. But the way she just like her stature, you can't teach that. Actresses nowadays just don't have it. Like the way that Linda Gray she can walk into a room and obviously the writers and the producers of this new Dallas, they are very well aware of that because they put her in some major scenes, especially as the season progressed. I feel like her character got more and more and more scenes.
71. You're right. Age
Yep.
71.
What?
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
September 12th.
She looks good.
She
Yeah,
looks
she's
about to have a
great.
birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had. Oh my gosh! I wish I had given this to Marissa ahead of time. I actually was at a car wash in West Hollywood a few weeks ago. I was dying. I sent Ryan this picture, and because we were trying to get her in the studio, and it just didn't work out with her busy schedule. But hopefully next season we'll get her in. But I took a picture. I was at the car wash. Apparently, this car wash is known for being like the car wash to the celebrities. It's on Santa Monica Boulevard. It's been there forever, and they wash your car. They detail it. It's phenomenal. And when you walk through this long hallway to go to pick up your car at the waiting area at the end, there are literally hundreds of headshots, signed, autographed headshots from every celebrity you could ever think of. And I'm walking and I see a headshot from Linda Gray, probably from like the mid 70s. It looked like
Nice.
probably before she was even on Dallas. It was hilarious. And I took a picture and you guys need to tune in January when we come back because I
my
will
God.
show you this picture. I want to save it for when she's in the studio though. It's
Yeah.
so
Oh my
funny.
God.
And her hair was so terrible.
Does she have bangs?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God, that's
big,
amazing.
big curly bangs.
Oh my
We
God.
should go in there and rip it off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be rebels.
Well, we have until January. We have to book Linda Gray on the show. Linda, if you're watching, we're coming for you. We love you.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh.
What I really love about her, though, when talking about walking into the room from the old Sue Ellen to this Sue Ellen and her owning everything, but she owns it as a woman of power. And there's where the whole difference is before, where she was more like a little weeping willow. And now it's just.
Well, now she's I Am Texas.
Exactly.
Well, I actually love that you bring that up. It goes to show. It goes to show. Like I think that's a general theme in humanity. When certain people, when you have the opportunity, you rise to the opportunity. She was always held down by JR for so many years that she never had the opportunity to be a better woman, which probably led her to all the drinking and all the conniving and things that made her a person that she hated herself in the original series. She kind of just
Boys suck is the bottom line.
They absolutely
Ruin your life. They
But
ruin
now
your life.
They do.
I love that she's been able to, and they've written her this way, that she can be a strong, independent woman, and she's not dull.
Right.
I was afraid of, like, because we talked about that at first, we're like, we want Sue Ellen to be crazy drunk Sue Ellen again.
Right.
And she hasn't had a drop, and she's been great. She's been better than she was, which is interesting, because you know the show, you know crazy drunk Sue Ellen, but she's really holding her own, I think.
And
as
she even got tempted last episode.
the bottle of wine.
Yeah, she was tempted.
The
She's
Bordeaux.
still,
Let it breathe.
you know, she's still held, refrained from that. And the thing that I like most too is that she's still trying to do the right thing, and she admits that she made a mistake, and she's still her character's still very human. Like even though she's on this new path and doing these great things, she still is, a mother and fighting with these demons with herself of trying to stay on that track. And the way that she's portraying it, I think, is really, really great
And
very relatable.
Yes, and I think that the way she's trying to be a better mother for John Ross throughout this season, you can tell that she's been trying. That maybe she's read a few self-help books. Maybe she read Chicken Soup for the Mother's Soul. I wonder if she bought that on Amazon. You guys, if you guys are a fan of that book, or any book for that matter, you guys could really help us out by making purchases of that or anything on Amazon through AfterBuzz TV. What you do is you go on AfterBuzzTV.com, click on the Amazon banner at the top of the screen, make all of your purchases. It takes one extra click. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it keeps the lights on in the studio, and it will keep us back here for season 2 in January. And we love doing what we do. So if you guys guys could do that to help us out, we'd really, really appreciate it. From all of us to you. Thank you. Do you make a lot of purchases on Amazon, Rachel?
I do.
Yeah?
Can you do that with your Kindle?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
Go to AfterBuzzTV.com first.
And with games?
Absolutely.
Oh, perfect.
Everything.
Perfect.
I just
I'm
spent
there.
like $250.
Done.
Tell
I
your
know.
friends.
I have an Amazon addiction, actually.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you also have a lot of Twitter followers, so make sure you let them all know that.
I will.
You've got some crazy fans, I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah?
They're amazing. I love
Yeah?
my fans.
Big
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah, I
Big
love
fan.
them because they're just so fun. I wish they would call in right now. It's an opportunity.
Well, if we have any of Rachel's fans watching, you can call us in. The phone number is
I'll tweet it.
424-256-1729. Is that the right phone number?
We have a new phone line, don't we?
Oh, we have a new phone
What
number
is
now?
it? 424.
Did we have a new phone number, Marissa?
We're still working on that.
So we're still at 424, correct?
Slow your roll there.
Easy,
Dorinda.
Dorinda. Look, I've
Stop
been
spoiling the episode.
The other night.
I've been out of the studio for a while watching the Olympics. I was not aware.
Dorinda's been drinking.
I'm on the right track though, because I was in the studio when we used the new phone line.
Nice.
Oh, Dorinda. You're always one step ahead of the rest of us.
I know.
It's
Or
that
two
happy.
steps behind. You're so cute.
So is it 424-256 what?
1729.
Okay, so
Tweet it out. Get some of your
tweeting
crazy
it
fans
out.
to call in.
Especially if you like Dallas, because we
Yeah.
are talking
Yeah,
about Dallas.
Yes.
Right,
You've got
totally.
fans that like Dallas.
I'm sure.
They have to like Dallas. Dallas
course
is
they do.
amazing.
Well, she
Who
likes
doesn't
Dallas.
like
You
Dallas?
tell them what to like.
That's right.
You're the celebrity.
Celebrity. Moving on. So something we should probably touch on, because this was how the entire episode opened and how last episode ended. Bobby had a heart attack. Is that what it was?
Aneurysm.
Aneurysm. That was an aneurysm. Oh. Who did Phil write heart attack up there and I just read it?
Well, I think you said it, but we know what you meant.
I'm like Ron Burgundy. I read anything you write up there. Bobby died. Guys, Bobby's dead, just so you know. No. So Bobby had an aneurysm.
Right.
So that was a pretty tense finale to episode 9 leading into this actual finale.
He came out of it looking well though, and
He
great,
came out
and
of it looking
refreshed.
great.
Yeah, he was just clear skin, ready. He's like, I've arisen.
Christopher and Anne were in his hospital room sleeping, and he just pops up like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready
Right.
to go.
What's up, y'all?
Right?
Yeah.
Right, get the doctor
He
in
did,
here. I'm
yeah.
getting out of
Pulls
here.
out his thing out of his
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's do this. Okay.
He did. It was awesome.
I got work to do.
Well, I do want to talk about even before he woke up is when JR went into the hospital room and he was talking to him and he told him that I love you, little brother. I think that's what
Yeah.
he says. He says, I love you, little brother. That's not something you're ever going to hear. You've never heard and you'll probably never hear it again. And when he spoke and he was speaking to him, I teared up because it was really, when he was speaking to him, you can even see it in his face. And once again, a true testament to how great the veteran actors are on this show. And it was amazing. Amazing.
that
I
moment
love
really-
the relationship between them.
Absolutely.
Amazing. And I love it because they're always a family. They always stick together. And they're like, anyone mess with our family, we're going to fuck you up. But together, they'll go at it
You're
with
shy.
each other. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, we've
Mess.
talked about this in prior episodes. They're the type of family, and this is kind of how I think a lot of families are in actuality.
Right.
We all might not have billions of dollars, but we all act this way to a degree where my sister and I will go at it. But if anybody comes near my sister,
Right.
I can fight with you,
Exactly.
but nobody else can.
I thought it was really interesting because when JR walked into in that scene in the hospital room, he walks in and the nurse tries to tell him, she's like, you can't, there's no visitors right now. And he said, you can call security, darling, but he's like, I'm not going anywhere. And she walked out of there and he stayed.
Yeah.
I really, that scene got me as well. I think, I remember the first time that my grandfather told me that he loved me, and I think I was probably 14 or 15 the first time I ever heard it from him. And I was running out because I always would hug him. My sister and I would always hug him. We lived 2 doors down from him. So we saw him all day, every day. And I would always hug him, give him a kiss, tell him I loved him, and run out the door to go play or go home or whatever. And I ran out the door and he says, I love you too. And I stood outside. My mom was standing there and she looked at me. She's like, I'm like, Grandpa just told me he loved me. It's never happened before. Oh, Lord. That was a really sentimental moment, you guys. But even more important, we have a phone call. We have somebody calling in.
Oh.
You speak and your fans listen. Hey, this is
hope so.
AJ with AfterBuzz TV. Who do we have on the line?
My name's Alonzo.
Alonzo, how are you?
Alonzo.
Do you know
Hi,
Alonzo?
Rachel.
Hey.
So, Alonzo, you a fan of Rachel or you a fan of Dallas or a fan of both?
Fan of Rachel. I don't even watch Dallas.
Oh. Well, thanks for calling in.
I didn't think I was gonna get through, but I guess I did.
It's your lucky day.
Well,
Yeah,
you're here.
that's right.
You have 10 seconds to say whatever you want to Rachel. What do you want to say to her?
Rachel,
Yes.
the first season you were on Big Brother, I hated you, but
Aww.
I love you now.
Thank you.
I think you're awesome.
Thank you
I
for
didn't
calling
hate
in.
you. I just didn't like you, but I love
I
you
know.
now.
I was a feisty redheaded bitch. It's okay.
Sounds like my high school career.
Right?
Too funny. Well, Alonzo, we need to tell you that you need to start watching Dallas. It picks up
Yes.
again in January. It's a phenomenal show, and we'll probably have Rachel back in the studio at some point. So you got to keep watching our shows too. All right, buddy?
All right, thanks.
All right,
care.
bye, Alonzo. Go watch
Bye,
Big
Rach.
Brother.
Oh, Alonzo. We should have probably tweeted that. They should also be fans of the show Dallas. And not just
I
of
did.
Rachel Reilly.
I put and Dallas. I tweeted that.
He's like, nope, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I used to hate you, Rachel.
Yeah.
And I hate you.
Right.
It's a sweet
Great call.
It was a great. You understand? Like when I was on season 12 of Big Brother, I was like in your face. People did not like me.
I can't
I
imagine.
need to
I
go
know.
back.
They were just like, oh my god.
Because all we saw on Amazing Race is you just crying and screaming
I
all the time.
know, and I don't ever. I mean, obviously, I do cry, but I'm really not that emotional. I don't get it. I don't
That
know.
takes a lot out of you. It's very
Yeah.
stressful.
Did you watch the original Dallas at all back in the day?
You know what? I kind of watched it, kind of didn't, but it's like one of those things my mom was a fan of, and everyone talked about. So I was like, this
Right.
show must be amazing. I know they had like the alcoholics, they had the money, they had the sex, and I wasn't really allowed to watch it.
As
So-
an adult now, all relatable topics.
Right,
Right.
totally, exactly.
Clearly.
They had the sex.
Yes,
They had the
sex.
So, Bobby's still alive, which is, thank goodness.
Yes.
Right. We didn't.
We need
think he
some
was going
sanity.
anywhere.
And he's back with a vengeance.
Yeah, he is.
He's, he's really standing up for himself. He's done with this BS. He's over it. He's ready to, get down to business and make things right.
Well, and he teams up with JR and with Christopher to take down Vicente. Finally, Vicente goes off to jail, and then Bobby looks to JR and is like, "Listen, I also had a copy because there was a copy of the video from Marta's death, correct?
Stored in iCloud.
And in iCloud.
Yeah,
well,
because-
all the
Yeah.
videos. She
All the videos.
videotaped
Every single thing.
everything.
Yes. And it
And
was
she
all-
automatically uploaded it. So they could take the camera, they could do whatever. She automatically uploaded. She wasn't dumb. She was crazy.
JR's smart,
wasn't
but
dumb.
he's old. He doesn't know
Right.
about this new technology.
Right.
It's information stored in clouds.
Yeah.
You barely know about clouds.
Easy for real. So he, as soon as the family takes down this outer what is it, a threat, I guess, Vicente, then right back at each other. He's like, listen, I had a second copy made for myself. So if basically, JR and John Ross got immunity. It's like Survivor. Got immunity because they went in and helped the FBI
Right.
bring
They
down
sold them
Vicente.
out.
Exactly. But he's like, look, I still have this information, these videos. I will take you down. Because he said to John Ross or to JR at first, he's like, I never would have sent you to prison. And JR says, you're so predictable. I knew that. Why do you think I agreed to this so quickly? He goes, you're pretty predictable too. Just so you know, I've got your ass. You mess
Right.
up again,
Yeah.
your ass is grass.
Yep, exactly.
Which is pretty cool. I like that side of Bobby.
Yeah, and of course, in true JR style, he's like, I wouldn't have it any other way.
And JR, I love that because JR absolutely loves having a rival. And you see that when he has the interaction with Bobby. He loves having that because JR is nothing without Bobby.
Right.
He's just not.
No.
It-
And he
it's-
says as much
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
that.
he said it in that moment. Yeah, I'm nothing without you.
It's a very Cain and Abel story. Really.
Yeah.
Every superhero needs a villain.
Absolutely.
basically.
Wow.
Absolutely. And then also at the end of the episode, with JR, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but with JR and John Ross, that final scene, again, you see such pride in JR's eyes. You saw it with Bobby, and you see it again with his son. He's a villain, but he just wants to know that this Ewing legacy is going to go on after him because he knows his days are numbered.
He's a villain with a heart, for
yeah.
sure.
And, well, and one of my favorite quotes from tonight, we were laughing about it, is when he first goes in to see Bobby after he's, better, and the lawyer walks out and Bobby gets all his information, and he says hi, to the lawyer. I can't remember his name, and he walks out without saying anything, and he's like, you hit a new low when the lawyer won't even take time to insult you.
I love
I know.
I just wish I could deliver a one-liner like him.
Yeah.
He's so great at it.
I know, just so nonchalant.
Yeah,
Just so
like nothing. Just rolls off his tongue, just moves on, keeps it pushing.
Well, I was reading some tweets and stuff back and forth about Dallas, and somebody tweeted, which I thought was really funny, is that, people always think that, the actors are their characters, and somebody tweeted back and said, I dare you to tell, Larry Hagman that he's not J.R. Ewing.
Right.
I'm sure like he's been
It's like
playing
one
that,
and the same.
He's been playing that character since the 70s.
Yeah.
I wasn't even alive in the 70s. Carillo, you were in your mid-teens in the 70s. I wasn't alive.
That's enough out of you.
As you can tell by this fantastic skin and this beautiful hair.
And a blouse.
And a blouse. Just like my blouse.
For those of you that can't see, AJ's wearing a blouse.
A blouse. A blouse. Thanks,
And he
Carillo.
said at one point he's going to wear it off the shoulder.
I might.
Yep.
I hope
I
you
could
do.
do a little off the shoulder. No,
Flash
I'm not
dance.
Please do. Yes.
Flashdance, urban cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Brokeback Mountain.
This show is going awry very quickly. So, John Ross. Let's talk about John Ross.
Oh my gosh, a lot of powerful stuff from this kid
He
tonight.
had a huge episode. and
Last
he-
I
episode
love
and this
him.
one.
He showed some acting chops tonight.
Yes.
He was great. Tears in
Red
the eyes.
eyes.
And I loved when he said, he delivered the line, he says, "Don't give up on me." And how he said it, he was just so, I mean, that whole scene was brilliant.
The first half or first 2/3 of the episode, he's trying so hard to make everything right. And we've all been there. Maybe not to this degree. I don't remember a woman being thrown out of a window of a hotel because of me. But I don't recall it at least. But he's trying so hard to right his wrongs.
Yep.
To show the woman that he loves that he actually does indeed love her. To make his daddy proud without, you know, whatever. He went and rented the space to the old Ewing oil that they used to have. It came back up and it's
which was amazing.
yeah,
Amazing.
that
Yes.
was so cool.
One
I
of the
loved
best.
it, yes.
That was one of the best scenes,
Yes,
I
and
think,
he
tonight.
genuinely did it because he cared about Bobby and Elena, and they were going to start this new Ewing Energies, this new company together, and he was trying so hard to do all these things right, and by the end of the episode,
But it's, you know, you can't change him. I mean, the thing too that I think was a little bit unfair on Elena's part is that, you know, this chick grew up with him. She knows how he is. She knows the dynamic between those two boys, and I think she plays off of it.
I
And
definitely think she does.
I just don't think, you know, there's for her to believe him so easily and take it so to heart when she's known how he is. She's been through this how many times now with this guy? How do you should know better? Like, to not that it's right, but to hold that much and be that, put that much blame on him a little bit's kind of her fault too for being so susceptible to that.
It's that bad boy thing, though. Every
Yeah.
girl wants a little bit of a bad boy.
Right, but then you can't, you know, punish him to the death for it when that's kind of what you're asking for.
well, I think that everybody, all these young characters, especially on the show, they're all so needy.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Yes,
all
that-
very quickly bounce to somebody else, and that's a pretty common thing I think
Right.
with people in general. But what do you think?
Yeah, and it's also entitlement and everything else like that. But what really makes me mad and makes me not like her, and I might be one of the only people that does not like her, is because they're family, and she saw what they were going through, and she also saw how they were trying to fix everything. And then she goes and does what she does. She knows that is going to break everything up. She knows that she messed up her career. This could have been it for her. She wouldn't just be living in the maid's quarters anymore.
Yep.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And also,
I
I'd
was
also
just
say,
like,
John Ross, he also, part of the agreement or whatever was also like, I don't want Elena to know. And she happened to be here, but like, he's trying to protect her. He's not trying to be
It's not like he's trying to.
Right.
He's not
super
trying to-
shady. He already
Right.
knows everything's out. He's been with the police. He's just trying to protect her and be, you know, she's gone through a lot too.
like, I can understand.
Wait till she sees the flash drive.
No.
The flash
The
drive
sex
will make
tape.
a comeback. You
For
know?
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Oh, that's so coming back because Vicente,
He's
just
not
in
done.
prison.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not keeping him from away.
I
from
love
anything.
because John Ross, JR says to Vicente as they're hauling him away, he's like, I've got a lot of money. And Vicente says, so do I.
Yeah.
I love how,
that.
because I love how there always has to be an external force with the Ewings. There has to be the infighting with the family, and there's something else. It was Cliff Barnes, or it was whatever it was in
Yeah.
the past. Cliff Barnes, let's be honest, he might not be alive by the next season. I mean, he's old as can be. He's not going to be around forever.
How old is he?
They need to create, I mean,
He's
God,
got like in his 80s,
he
right?
has to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
So old.
Yeah.
And
Because
they,
JR is.
Yeah. So
and they have to
he's-
introduce new characters that are villains. They've already killed off Marta, or whatever her name really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Veronica. They've already now killed off Tommy, which that in and of itself was a tense opening scene.
Yeah,
Crazy,
that
right?
was
Yes.
crazy.
Did you guys think that it was actually Tommy or Rebecca going down?
I figured it was him.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it might.
Yeah,
I was kind of scared it could be Rebecca, just because she's pregnant. I'm like, oh my god, how are they going to? I thought it'd be a great way to untie these characters from each other and to open up all these characters to date each other again and to whatever. But I was like, are they really going to kill off like babies or make her miscarry? I'm like, that's pretty edgy. But Dallas has been known for really pushing the envelope in the past.
Well, I was saying that she was going to have a miscarriage because he was beating the crap out of her.
Right.
Like kicking her, punching her, hitting her. She's like falling all over the place, you know? And she hasn't gone to the doctor to make sure she's okay.
And
Or
also
maybe
talk
she
about-
hasn't, we don't know.
There was someone else that died in the opening too. The 2 monkeys.
that were not, in fact, bears. Ryan thought they were bears.
Well, stop yelling at me.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
No, but it was really intense. And then, you know, when we see how that whole thing unfolds and just, you know.
Well, and then
curious-
she makes a call. That's what blew my
That
mind.
was crazy.
Oh my gosh, I need help. And it's like they come in, you don't know who they are.
A cleanup crew within
Yeah,
moments.
Right. They don't show any of their faces. It
dead
was very
body
much
cleanup
like
crew.
Lost. And
Yes.
like they just came in, the music got all creepy, plastic
She
is getting
called the
rolled
Dharma
up.
Initiative.
Literally, and they just came in and,
And
like
she was like feverishly scrubbing the blood out of the floor, and like she's a really great actress actually. Like she really this episode
she gave it.
Yeah. Well, and it looked like this is probably, which I didn't think before when she went to that lockbox at the bank and she had all these passports and the gun and all of that. I thought maybe this was something she did, but this looked like to me this might have been the first person she's ever killed
You know,
because she was really shaken up by it.
Yeah.
That's true. She was.
You
I think
know?
she was shaken up by it though
Probably.
because of her relationship prior with Tommy. Because I feel like she knew exactly what to call, and I felt like that she has done this before.
like there was a
You know what I mean?
contingency plan. Like have you
Yeah.
seen the ads for
Yes.
the new Bourne movie?
Yeah.
There was never just one.
Yeah.
She could be one of the Bourne people. Like she, like
Yeah,
she's
totally.
She's pretty. Like she opened that thing at the bank, and I'm like, she looks like Jason Bourne.
I know.
Like, he's got that same
She's like a
thing.
secret agent.
That's what I was thinking too, but she was just, I don't know, she was way too emotional about it for me
Yeah.
and jumpy that I don't, you know, somebody that's like killed people before, I don't think you're that vulnerable about it.
And later in the episode, when we find out the huge
Oh my god.
that Cliff Barnes is actually her father.
Yes,
That
which you know,
Yeah.
in predictions you
Quit
had
your
called
dance.
before.
Well, because, and let's backtrack just a little bit because I got ahead of myself a little bit. We found this out because Bobby tracked down. Bobby had
Bum.
or not Bobby, Christopher.
Yes.
Had the detective track
His name's
down.
Bum, right?
Yeah, his name is Bum.
Had Bum track down Tommy. They go to his hotel room. They find nothing. It looks like he's already left. But then they get a phone call, and it's Rebecca. Not his wife, Rebecca, the real Rebecca, who's Tommy's actual sister. That's just weird. Like, why would you use the same name? First of all, I don't understand. I don't understand that.
Well, maybe because they ever look and say, "Hey, he has a sister."
Yeah.
You would do the same thing if you're impersonating someone. You would have, you know,
Yeah, it would make sense.
you'd want to like have
Maybe
all
she's
your
not even a real
background taken care of.
blonde.
Well, he finds out that his wife actually. But is her name actually still Rebecca, though?
No.
No, I don't think so.
For sure.
So
not.
what is her actual name?
No.
We
They
don't
didn't
know.
we don't know.
Well, didn't
Pamela?
somebody like put on our iTunes comments like a little bit of history about Cliff having a kid, but I don't think anybody ever named like what that kid's
The
name
middle
was.
name was Rebecca or something.
But it's
Yeah.
actually
Rebecca or
Pamela.
something.
It was actually Pam's middle name is Rebecca. It's Pamela Rebecca Barnes. So that's where her name.
And his wife was named Rebecca at one point. Cliff's.
Cliff's wife. Okay, that could probably. Yeah.
I need to watch between now and January. I'm going to watch season 3 through 12 or 14 or whatever. How many seasons are 14? I think.
And the 2 films.
And the 2 films.
I know there's so
There's so much backstory.
There's so much twisting and tying and like all of that.
We need to have a
It's crazy.
Dallas party since, you know.
We do need to have a Dallas party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the new one, we need to all take our time and watch these old episodes. Then we'll watch like a marathon of the 10 episodes from this season again before we come back in
Yes.
I'm up for that.
We're gonna do it totally.
January. Yes.
I'm up.
Texas. I am Texas.
I am Texas. Well, you guys, we want to know what you guys think at home. If you guys are enjoying our show, what do you want to see us do differently in January when we come back, and what do you guys want us to keep the same? Are you guys happy with us? Let us know on iTunes. Go on there, rate and comment. Tell your friends about us because when we come back in January, we expect to have more comments and more viewers and more listeners. We really enjoy doing this, you guys, and we're actually all huge fans. We all try to do shows that we're big fans of, obviously, for AfterBuzz, and some shows we like a little more than others. This is definitely one that we're all a huge fan of, and I didn't know I would be. I said back in the springtime when I first came to AfterBuzz, I said to our producer, I'm like, I don't care what I do for the springtime. I just want to get my feet wet. In the summer, I want to be on Dallas. I have to cover Dallas because it looked so good. They were releasing trailers a year ago.
Right.
So I was just...
And the marketing campaign when they were all in the steam room, like they were like pretty like, you know, shenanigans. I loved it.
I mean, the network has just gotten so much better with their marketing and advertising and all of that for
TNT is
all of
bringing
their
it.
shows. They're really bringing it. I think it's fantastic.
So you guys, please comment. Get on iTunes. Let us know. And also comment on our other shows. We all host other shows here. Find us. We'll be hosting shows all summer long, all throughout the fall. So you don't have to wait till January to watch AfterBuzz again. You can find us on other
That
things.
includes you, Rachel.
Okay.
We need comments.
I'll leave comments.
We need
Yes.
5 stars.
Okay.
Yes, 5 stars. We need to be in
And
the top
I'll-
10.
And I'll hit AfterBuzz on Amazon.
Yes.
Yes.
And make all your purchases through there for
will.
us.
So that way an episode can be brought to everyone by you.
So maybe AfterBuzz will be able to afford air conditioning again in the future. 'Cause it's so hot in here tonight. Why is it so hot right now?
Because it's like a
I'm
million
dying.
degrees outside.
I'm wearing like the lightest blouse ever, and I'm dying here. You must be sweating.
Oh my gosh. So Rebecca is tearing up things. Rebecca is not who Rebecca's, she is.
my
Christopher
God.
finds out, storms in the apartment, and is like, who are you? And she's still.
I loved how he threatened her. He's like, I will send you to prison and I will take the babies, which is amazing.
No, he says, I will find
Yeah.
out who you are.
And here's the thing, no matter how much you might hate a woman or how crazy she may be, you can threaten her. You don't threaten her babies.
Right.
Even the
Do
craziest
not
woman on
mess
earth, even
with
if
the
she doesn't
babies.
want the kids, will still fight you tooth and nail to keep
Right.
those babies. That's just. And then he threatens her, then he runs off and bangs Elena.
But also,
Right?
was Rebecca's mattress on the floor? Was
Yes.
that-
Yes.
What's going on with that?
I know. And why
Did
did she
blood
still
get
live
on it?
there?
Maybe she had to get rid of it because there was blood.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But it didn't get on the white duvet cover?
Maybe it's new.
I mean, really?
Maybe she's into like.
And why is she still living in an apartment? Like, I'm sorry if you're...
That was still their apartment together, right?
But
Yeah.
he wasn't staying there, was he?
No, he moved back to the house.
Yeah, and his wife is pregnant with twins. Don't you think you would move her home with you?
But they were trying to work on it.
No,
that's
they were
why.
just now
Yeah.
trying to work on
Right.
it. That he wanted her.
He
'cause,
just put the ring on.
Yeah, he just put the
Yeah.
ring on.
And he
then,
wanted her to move back in.
What about that scene?
He wanted her
the
to have
Chinese
her
scene, is that what you're going to talk
ring.
about?
Yeah, that leads into
All of this
which oh
craziness.
my god, all the craziness of Cliff Barnes' daughter, all that stuff, and what Cliff Barnes does to her.
Well, let's quickly touch on the Chinese scene then, because
oh yes,
Christopher, God love him, he's trying so hard to reach out to Rebecca, to fake Rebecca, and to make things work. So he goes over to their apartment and orders Chinese, just like they did in college, and blah blah blah. And he's got his ring on, and you can tell as she puts her hand on his face and he kind of like touched her hand, he feels like she's not wearing the ring. He's like, well, where's your ring? She goes, and you could tell she's been terrified that he was going to notice this. And she says, I think my fingers maybe have swollen because of the pregnancy, so I couldn't fit it on. He goes, oh.
Yeah, I don't think he really bought it that much because he was just kind of like, okay. And then when he kissed her again, though, I saw a little bit of hesitation.
Because I don't think he really trusts her still.
No.
And he's just trying to like
Right.
overlook things to try to like
Yeah.
move forward.
Yeah.
The whole time I kept worrying that they were gonna eat Chinese food and there was gonna get blood in their soup or something. Because I literally was like, he's gonna find some. He's gonna go like this. His hand's gonna be in blood.
Yeah,
I was
in the
worried.
wonton soup.
I was worried.
That would
Or
have been
just too much
creepy.
for me right now.
Just relax.
So though, this leads into our next scene.
yes.
I'm gonna let you take this.
Oh, because she's been looking for the rings ever since the whole Tommy thing went down. She's been looking for the rings. She even went and rummaged through his body and clothes to find the
Right?
With no
rings.
gloves on.
Yeah.
No, what?
Hello, stupid. But then we find out why it wasn't. She could
Yeah.
do whatever she wants at this point.
Yeah.
And then we
Daddy.
find out that Cliff Barnes is her father, and he's talking about cleaning up her mess, and he pulls out the rings.
Well, because she found the pawn ticket
Yeah.
in,
Right,
his, in
at the
Tommy's
hotel room.
pocket.
Yeah.
No, she found it in his pocket, in his
What did
body,
she find in the hotel
his
room?
wallet.
Oh, she just ripped up
Yeah.
the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, she ripped
Got
up the
crazy.
pictures and everything, and then he pulls out the wedding rings, the engagement ring and the wedding ring, and he goes, and I knew if you found this, you'd put this back on your finger. And I was just like, oh, this is pure evil. This man, you are basically prostituting your daughter out to do all this just so you can get back at this family that you feel has done your family wrong.
Which is so weird to me because I've only watched the first 2 seasons, and Cliff Barnes is still a really good guy the first 2 seasons. Cliff Barnes is still getting screwed over by the Ewing family over and over. He hasn't
yeah.
turned bad yet, so I've never seen that side of him. So to see him, I'm like, whoa, you're that bad?
Yeah, it got
Well,
pretty,
and then
yeah.
it's like generational because now it's like fake Rebecca, whatever
Yeah.
her real name is going after the sons, and their children are going to be involved. So this is like a generational thing that they're not stopping.
They've really transitioned so
Yeah.
well from, I mean, they went on a hiatus for what, how many, 20-some years?
Yeah.
20 years, and to come back and to transition so smoothly and to make it all so seamless, it's genius.
Oh,
I think it's such phenomenal writing. I'm really anxious to see, because a lot of times, like season 1, if you do have a great first season, sometimes season 2 is where it sort of starts to drop off a little bit. I'm curious to see what they've got for season 2. They have 15 episodes, so it's a larger season than the first one. Thank
And it's coming
goodness.
back so early.
Yeah, January.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we don't have to wait till next summer.
No, absolutely.
thank
It's
God.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with those cliffhangers. God,
Yes.
I know.
could you imagine?
Because I mean, we talked about that before.
What would
as
we
well.
do?
I know, what do we do?
Dallas sort of invented the huge cliffhanger.
Yeah.
They really
Yeah, they
made it.
did.
They really revolutionized it in television. And that's the one thing I was worried about the show. I'm like, they could have it could be a great show. I think it could be good. I thought it could be a good show. But I was like, there's no way on earth they're ever going to be able to live up to these cliffhangers that they used to have back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. They have.
Yes, they did.
They're so great. And the show, like, Dallas used to be sort of like a guilty pleasure because it was kind of like, oh my God, this acting's terrible. And these plot lines are, I mean, how many times can Lucy Ewing be kidnapped in one season or whatever?
Like, over the top, basically.
Yeah.
But now they're believable. And it's so... Ooh, it just makes me
It went
wanna-
from being like campy to like a serious.
It doesn't feel like an evening soap
Right,
opera. It
at
feels
all.
like an
Right.
evening drama.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, because
Yes.
before it was just a soap opera that was on at night,
Right.
and it had that whole soap opera vibe where every
Young and the
storyline
Restless.
is
Yeah.
ridiculous,
Yes.
and just every time you come back to it, it's right where you left it. And it was although it was great in a sense, it was still that whole soap opera feel. And now they've transitioned into an actual drama,
Yes.
where it's just and so effortlessly it looks like.
Yeah.
It's just great.
And they're so, I love how they still pay homage to all the old characters.
Right.
Because
Yes.
even Cliff Barnes tonight says,
Yes.
you reminded me of my sister and your aunt Pam. And we had to fix that.
Yeah.
And
And
I
how
was just like,
I know.
how the scene when they were in the office space and John Ross was like, they said, because Elena said, you could have gotten one of the brand new buildings. Why not? He goes, well, because this place has
Pedigree.
pedigree. I was going to say integrity. Pedigree. Integrity. He says, Jock's office was right there. Bobby's office was right there. JR's office was right there. Now mine will be there. Yours will be there. And Christopher's will be there. Like, that's so cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, just to really, like, it's... You got to think, like, the character, the man who played Jock. I can't think of his name now. But you have to think, like, he's obviously passed, and Miss Ellie's passed, and something you have to think, if they're up there somewhere watching down, they've got to be proud of the show.
Right.
That has been
Yeah.
carried out so gracefully.
Yeah.
And the fans have to be thrilled too. I mean, they've been for 20 years waiting for it to come back, and
And
it
there
comes
are
back
a-
so strong because a lot of shows come back on 90210, and they're just.
I love 90210 PS, but
Yeah, but
I
it's
was a
still-
huge fan of the
Melrose
original.
Place.
I watched every one and Melrose
Melrose
Place,
Place.
and I literally can't watch the new one.
No.
I'm so not
I
into
can't.
it.
I can't either.
I
No.
do not like
I think I watched 2 episodes when like Brendan and Kelly came
Me
back,
too.
and that was it.
Yeah.
yeah.
well, that's the thing, because some of those shows, they bring back original cast members and then they get rid of them so quickly.
Yeah.
I think if Dallas had done that with this show, I don't think the show could go on without
No.
JR and
No,
Bobby
they
right now.
couldn't.
They need them.
And they made them into the story. It's just the best part.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
JR has stolen every scene he's been in this entire season.
Yeah.
And I love how Brenda Strong's character, Anne, has really held her own. She came into this family. She was never a part of the original. I mean, she's like the 4th one,
Right.
actually, now in this new season. And she holds her own.
Yeah,
she does
she
not
does.
get lost in any of those scenes.
No, she's such a great character too, and there's so much. Well, this is the thing too that I like with the show is everybody has their own story, so nobody's really like a background player, So there's so many ways that this can go, and it's they have so much potential.
Well,
to
they
do
really,
even
I
more
think they're
great
really
things.
leading into season 2 with this final scene. And I obviously wanted to wait till the end to talk about this, but before we wrap it up, let's talk about this because this is big. The scene with
God.
John Ross and JR in the new office space of
Yes.
the Skyrise, and how John Ross, because this is such a classic moment. You watch it in like Star Wars, like any of these epic films. That moment where you turn from good to evil, because John Ross has kind of been tiptoeing back and forth. He's been
Right.
kind of riding the fence all season long, and I was kind of pulling for him to be a good guy. But I also knew that it's kind of more fun to watch him as a bad guy. So I didn't know how it was going to play out. And then at the beginning of this episode, it's like, oh, he's a good guy. He's trying so hard. He's going to make, Elena's going to make an honest man of him and whatnot. But at the end of this episode, when he's Christopher's off banging Elena now, and he's aware that he's lost her. She was supposed to come meet him at that office space, and he was going to give he wanted her to come meet him to let him know that she still wanted to marry him. Well, she gave the ring to her mom and had the mom drop it off. And at that moment, he knew.
That's when he
Which that's
flipped.
just crazy.
Yeah.
That's
she was just
Yeah,
like,
I would never give that ring back. I'm sorry, but
a
I'm
beautiful
keeping
ring.
the diamond
Yes.
of oil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Like,
ring.
Beautiful.
And then JR, of course, perfect timing, shows up with a bottle of scotch or whiskey or whatnot, pour them a couple of drinks, and John Ross says to him, basically, we are going to build this company into the greatest thing it could ever be, this Ewing Energies. And then what's going to happen, Dad, you teach me the ways, You teach me how to be downright, how to every dirty trick in the book, so that I can create the biggest company in the world. And then we're going to take out Christopher and we're going to take out Elena, and I'm going to bring you on board. And JR looks at him with such pride.
Well, and he says, too, if you double cross me, I'm going to put you back in that home and you're not getting anything.
I love that line.
Was brilliant. Because I was like, I know you really want your dad's love, but you do know what he just did to you and what it brought on to the whole family and everything. And when he said that to his father, I was like, go on. Go for yours.
He almost went to prison because of his daddy.
Yeah.
And now he's like, look, I love you. Don't mess with me.
Right. But it's a learning curve for him, though. Now he knows, and so next time it's going to be, he's not going to fall for it.
But the interesting thing is, though, at the end of the day, everything is exactly as JR has always wanted it to be. He's back in control of everything. His relationship with Bobby is back because he needs Bobby. He needs that rivalry to keep him on his toes, to keep his life having meaning. And he needs his son to be carrying on the family legacy now. So heading into season 2, somehow, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Right.
JR still got everybody. He's all his little, his little chess pieces right where he needs them to be.
Yeah. Well, even the last thing he said to John Ross, he looks at him when he's, all prideful, and he looks at him with his drink and, wants to cheers to him, and John Ross doesn't. He just drinks, and he looks at him. He's like, "That's my son." What did he say?
Yeah.
Tip to.
Tip to toe.
Yeah, tip to toe.
Yeah. I love that, and I think it was the most genius way, and the way they pulled out that camera shot away from that building.
Gorgeous!
That's
so cool,
amazing.
Going back to what you said
were
too.
Talking about that.
Sorry, but what you said, or going back to what you said earlier, is what was I going to say? I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind. My hunger.
Really?
What were we talking about?
John Ross, JR.
John Ross, JR.
The camera shot.
Oh, that everyone, he has him everywhere exactly where he wants him. When Bobby actually, he had even decided at one point that he was going to drill on South Fork. Like, he got pushed to that point. So now he even knows that, if Bobby is pushed and like the family's in jeopardy, he will drill on this land too, and he can still get that to happen. So now, exactly what you said, he has everyone exactly where he wants them to be.
Yes. Oh, he is such a phenomenal character, and it's really cool to see John Ross step up to the plate.
Right.
And to now, I believe that he can be this villain moving forward. And also, let's not forget Vicente. He's going to come back.
He's not done.
He's coming back.
He's going to come back in a big way.
Where are they from? Argentina?
Venezuelans.
Wait, Martha was Argentinian.
No,
I don't remember.
Because we said Argentina in one of the early episodes. I remember making that joke.
That's your new
boyfriend. The Venezuelans aren't going anywhere.
No, they're not.
Just because one of them's going to prison, they've got a lot of money and a lot of power. So I think.
Well, look at the power they had. They beat up John Ross.
Well, obviously,
they obviously have some friends.
So
those Latino gang members.
Season 2 is going to be dicey. Season 2 is going to be dicey. Yeah. Can we make some? Do we have any news and gossip first of all?
Well, we kind of talked about it throughout the thing with the show's coming back in January and that sort of thing.
Let's make some predictions then.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with I shot JR over here, Mr. Ryan Carillo. What do you predict season 2? What do we have to look forward to?
Well, I hope Sue Ellen gets elected, and I think it's genius that there is going to be a political figure in this family now.
Yes.
And she's already stretched her power and has been inappropriate a few times, which means it's just going to happen even more. And now she's going to have more to lose because she's actually in the office. So.
Kelly.
And maybe she'll bring, gay marriage to Texas.
Right. Keep your fingers crossed. Hold your breath.
You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Texas native. What do you think about that?
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah. She was eating Chick-fil-A earlier.
Oh, Lord. What do you think's coming up? We're not going there. What's coming up season 2, Kelly?
I don't think Vicente's going anywhere. I think he's going to come back in a big way. And just even that scene with Cliff Barnes is people with Vicente, and he was just about to sign everything over to him, and they were going to take over that way. So I am curious to see how Rebecca's going to whatever her name is going to come back in and try to double cross and double deal and all of that. I really don't see those babies going full term. I just don't. I can't. I don't see it.
Rachel,
I'm sorry. I got so excited. Okay.
Here we go.
So I think this is just in my dream world. So what if Rebecca has the babies, right? And she gets with John Ross, and they get together because Christopher and Elena are together, right? So they get together, and then they both work together because now he's evil to take down the company.
And he's raising Christopher's babies.
Right, exactly.
But that's like Barnes, though. JR would never let that happen. He would never be in cahoots.
I don't think it'll come out.
Barnes.
It'll be a secret.
They don't know this.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know any of this yet.
She can make up any story.
That's true. But if they have Bum on the case, I don't know. They might not be that long.
Yeah. Bum is a good investigator.
Bum is not a good investigator.
Oh, Lord. Dorinda. What are you looking forward to next season?
Oh God, there's so much I'm looking forward to. But I honestly, the prediction is, I honestly don't think that they know that John Ross, the other two, Christopher and Elena, they really haven't said anything because the mother didn't say anything. She just came and gave the ring back. I think they're going to try to keep it secret. Even though John Ross knows, and John Ross has his own little plan of what he's going to do to the both of them, but he's not going to do anything.
Are they going to write their name on the tree?
They will.
Isn't their name already on the tree?
Well, Christopher and Elena's.
Yeah, Christopher and Elena are on the tree.
So
I think
it's
they're
time
going to
for
be
them.
like the lovers that can never get together. That everyone's like, get together.
The Ross and Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They need a couple characters like that in the show, and I think it made the season a little bit more compelling. I think that Victoria Principal, I think Pamela Ewing, she's not dead. She didn't die. She never died. She's going to make a comeback because...
Well, she came back to life anyways.
Well, I know, but she's gone now because she's disfigured and didn't want to be seen or something, whatever the storyline was.
There's been advances in medicine.
Yes,
I
she
agree.
will come back, and I think the show will give Anne a little run for her money because that would be interesting to watch. I think we haven't seen the end of the Venezuelans, obviously.
Yeah.
I think season 2 is going to be huge. I can't wait. I mean, they shot this all a year ago. Now they've had, they've had time to get reactions from people, and now to shoot this new season, I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to come back and to cover the show with all three of you. Hopefully 4 of you can stop in again, all 3 of you. We want to thank you so much for stopping by, Rachel.
Thank you.
You have some stuff coming up you want to share with us.
Yes, Brendan and I are getting married.
Yay!
And our wedding planner is David Tatera. Woo!
Oh
my God, obsessed, right?
Oh my God,
I know.
It's a girl thing.
Yeah,
I've sat and watched marathons, gotten a bottle of champagne,
Me too.
and just
Not
have.
even kidding.
How can we keep up with your wedding?
Oh my God. Okay, so you can keep up with me on @Rachel E. Reilly on Twitter.
Okay.
The wedding will air on WeTV in December.
That is fantastic.
Nice.
Right before we come back.
Yeah.
We're going to have you in the studio again then.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Where can we follow you on Twitter, Dorinda?
At Lula Cherry Films.
And you, Kelly?
At Kelly with an IE 079.
Carrillo.
Ryan A. Carrillo, 2 R's and 2 L's.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at _AJ Gibson. Also, my new website just launched, so please check it out. It's www.ajgibson.tv. We want to thank you guys for stopping by and for sticking it out with us this entire season. We love you guys. We love all of our fans. Make sure you find us all on our other shows this fall, and we'll be back covering Dallas again in January. Take care, guys.
Yay.
From
Bye,
Bing.com,
guys.
executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz y'all later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.